save the butchers! Help save the butchers!
Hi, this is Bob from HelpSaveTheButchers.com, and today we're going to talk about how to pick out the right steak for the grill. Picking out the right steak for the grill can be complicated, but I think I can give you some guidelines that'll help. The first thing you have to decide is, are your guests looking for something a little bit leaner, or are they looking for something with a little bit more flavor to it? The tenderest steak out there is the filet mignon. It's a great eating steak, very tender, and most people reserve the steak when they're going to have for a special occasion or eat out at their favorite restaurant. The next steak, tenderest, and also still lean, is the porterhouse steak, which has the filet on it and the boneless or bone-in strip on this side here, with the T-bone separating them. Now, the bone does add flavor if you're going to put it on the grill, and if you want to do something that'll give a little bit of combination, it'll serve two people, a little bit tender on this side, a little bit more flavor on this side. After the porterhouse is the boneless New York strip steak. And you can see it as it's part of the porterhouse. It's still a good steak. It's a pretty well tender steak, not as tender as the filet, but it has a little bit more flavor than the filet does. After the New York strip steak would be the boneless sirloin steak. Now, this steak here is a lean steak also, and it's probably the most reasonably priced, but not as tender as the other steaks. If I was to do this steak on the grill and going to be serving it to company, I would probably try to get something a little bit thicker, around 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches thick, and marinate it ahead of time. And it'll be a good steak that way. But if you're really eating for flavor, you have to go into the ribs. Now, this is a bone-in rib steak, which is cut from the prime rib, bone-in, and this is a boneless ribeye steak, the exact same steak without the bone. They're both going to be excellent flavors, just a matter of personal preference of whether or not you prefer the bone, but the flavor on these and the tenderness is excellent. Next in line is surprisingly the second tenderest steak out there. This is called the flat iron steak. It's cut from the chuck. Second tenderest steak you can buy, but also has a lot more flavor than some of the other steaks. Because it's cut from the chuck, it has some grain. The only disadvantage is you can't cut it thick. It's a thin sliced steak. Great on the grill, good eating. But as my wife says, don't forget, real men eat ribeye. This is Bob from HelpSaveTheButchers.com. Don't forget, buy fresh cut meat from your local butcher, just like your mom did.